Hi, and welcome to another Coffee with Mark. I'm really excited at the coffee I'm going to talk to you about today and the coffee experience I'm going to talk to you about. I'm here in my office, in my home. Again, we're not traveling much this year because of COVID, but I do want to relay to you some coffee experiences this year that I had overseas, try to recreate them or at least tell the stories about them. And I've got some nice coffee here today. It's actually in a nice little mug. If you can see a winter scene there on in some kind of, it looks like Eastern European country, maybe, which is very appropriate because the story I'm going to tell you is about a visit I had in Ukraine. But first, I want to tell you about the coffee that's in this mug. And it is Tanzanian coffee. I got this from the area where I was in Eastern Africa and Tanzania and Kenya earlier this year. And this is from one of the oldest and largest Tanzanian coffee farms. They've been raising coffee there, growing coffee there since 1899. Huge place near Kilimanjaro, just a short drive from Kilimanjaro. I think it's on Mount Meru, but this is dark roasted coffee. It actually says medium on the bag, but their medium is dark. Their dark is espresso. And this is really dark roasted coffee. But what's interesting about this is it's not a dark coffee. It's dark roasted for sure, but it doesn't have that weightiness and that kind of forebodingness that a dark coffee sometimes has because of the ground that it's grown in. You get some really nice flavors that are coming through here. It is well grounded coffee, but there's a lot of flavor going on as well. And you can taste it has a high acidity, but it's really got these flavors, which I would say more floral than fruity. Interesting. I kind of detect some lavender, maybe a little bit of rose. It's really more floral. So those flavors are kind of just dancing around there on top of that solid base, and really nice coffee. It's an enjoyable coffee. But I want to tell you a story about my friend Eugene, who took me to a coffee shop in Chernivsti when I was there many years back. We were doing some training of leaders there. And, Western Ukraine has lots of coffee shops and had a lot of good coffee there. And you've heard me do a couple of Coffee with Marks from that region. But yeah, I just have to tell you this story, and I'll give you a picture here of what I'm talking about. This is actually, that's my daughter, Emily, there in the picture. She was with us on that trip. But that picture is of a coffee making contraption from, the turn of the century. I'm talking about the 1900s, right around the 1900s. This would have been when the town of Chernivsti would have been part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire a long time ago. So you can see what it is it is a vacuum machine. So you can see over here what's happening is there's a burner and a little flame there. The water's in here in this copper container. It goes over the top into this side, the glass side here. And you can see the coffee is actually brewing over here, and you can actually see there's some foam up there, And so what happens is it brews, and then you remove the heat, just turn the burner off, and the vacuum sucks it right back over into this container, and there's a little spigot right there ready for it to come out. That is an old-fashioned way of vacuum brewing the coffee, not unlike a lot of vacuum type coffee makers that are being sold today. They're kind of making a comeback, but this one is old school, and it was a great experience. I'm really grateful to Eugene for giving me that experience. It was very good coffee. But I wanted to talk about that today because I have been thinking about old things and new things. That's obviously an old way to make coffee. And this is when I'm recording this, it's somewhere near the end of December, coming into January. Of course, we're thinking about the new year. I'm also looking back, as I normally do, over my last year, trying to get the top 5 things that the Lord spoke to me or worked into my life or revealed to me. All those things. That's one of my favorite times of the year because I get to look back. And for people like me, looking back is the way I get my bearings for going forward, right? You can look back and you can learn from what's happened in the past and hopefully not recreate the mistakes of history. But you get bearings for now by looking back. But there are also some people that's not the way they're oriented. They really get their bearings for what they need to do today based on looking ahead. They're looking to the future, or they're looking at what could be or what should be, and that's shaping their today. So the question is, which is best, or which is God's way, looking back or looking forward? And I think the answer is yes, both are. I was reading today in Psalm 77, and it's one of those Psalms that are looking back at what God has done. And the psalmist says these things. He says, I will remember the deeds of the Lord. Past, right? Yes, I will remember your wonders of old. I will ponder all your work, meditate on your mighty deeds. You are the God who works wonders. So it's glorifying God by looking back at what God has done for him. And we need to do that. We gain strength by doing that sometimes, right? And yet, there are scriptures like Isaiah 40 where he says, look, I'm doing a new thing. It's springing forth. And we're told by Jesus that new wine can't make it in old wineskins. There has to be new wineskins for that which is new, what God is doing now. So is it either or? No, I think it's both. And I was thinking about this song. Speaking of Psalms, the first song in the Bible. All the songs in the Bible are not in the book of Psalms. There's many in the New Testament. There's many in the Old Testament. Much of the prophetic literature is poetry, so much of it was probably sung. But this is the first song in the Bible, Exodus 15. When Moses and the Israelites were released from Egypt, and when God did this miracle of parting the Red Sea for them. And then immediately, spontaneously came this song. Not a song that they knew before, but spontaneously on the spot, God just dropped this song into their hearts and they started singing it out of what had happened there. So it says this, Moses and the Israelites sang this song to the Lord. So both of them sang. Probably antiphonal, probably Moses would sing a verse and they would sing it back to him, likely because that was a common way of singing in the day. Here's the song. I will sing to the Lord, for he is highly exalted. The horse and its rider, he's hurled into the sea. The Lord is my strength and my song. He's become my salvation. He is my God, and I will praise him. My Father's God, and I will exalt him. And then he goes on and talks about what the Lord is like. The Lord is a warrior. The Lord is his name. And Pharaoh's chariots and his army, he's hurled into the sea. And he talks about what's happened, what they just experienced. The enemy boasted, I will pursue them and overtake them. But you blew with your breath, Lord, and the sea covered them, and they sank like lead in the seas. And then it changes. There's like a shift in the focus. Not what he has done, but suddenly he says, who among the gods is like you, O Lord? Who is like you? Majestic in holiness, awesome in glory, working wonders. You stretched out your hand, and the earth swallowed them. So it's no longer us celebrating about what God has done. It's now us speaking to God personally, right? And then here comes the twist. This song that was looking back now begins to turn prophetic and looks forward. Listen to this. In your unfailing love, you will lead the people you have redeemed In your strength, you will guide them to your holy dwelling. The nations will hear and tremble. Anguish will grip the people of Philistia. Chiefs of Edom will be terrified. Leaders of Moab will be seized with trembling. The people of Canaan will melt away. Terror and dread will fall upon them by the power of your arm. They will be as still as a stone until your people pass by, O Lord. Until the people you bought pass by. You will bring them in and plant them on the mountain of your inheritance and the place, O Lord, you've made for your dwelling. The sanctuary, O Lord, your hands have established. The Lord will reign forever and ever. So what you have is a song that's thinking about what God has done, turning into a praise directly to God, turning into a prophetic song that looks forward to the future. So I think all these things go together. We see who God is by looking back, and we see his heart and what he wants to do, and he begins to turn our eyes forward. So I just want to encourage you, let's think about that. Let's think about the past things, the wonders that God has done, and remember that. Let's let that give us courage for today, and let's let it give us vision for tomorrow. And let's have one more sip of this wonderful Tanzanian coffee. Boy, I want to drink that in the future.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, comment, and share, and check out our other videos. Also, if you want to see how we are multiplying healthy leaders worldwide, you can check out markmedley.org. And remember, life's too short to drink bad coffee.